Hi, I wanted to welcome you to the TCC Texas Government course. My name is Jennifer Green. I am an adjunct professor with TCC, and I have been for a number of semesters. I have taught Texas government for a few years. I should have probably looked that up. And I really, really enjoy teaching this class. I am a native Texan, born and raised, and I am licensed to practice law in Texas. I have worked in Texas my entire life, and we can be quirky sometimes in Texas, and we can do things that the rest of the world and the rest of the country looks at as kind of strange. But you gotta love the quirky, and you gotta love the strange. And I think Texas is a great place, which is why I'm still here. There are a million different benefits for living here, as you know, since you also live here. So I am excited to teach this class. It's the first class that I ever taught at TCC, and so it is the one I am the most familiar with. I wanted to go through today, I wanted to tell you a little bit about myself and my teaching style, and then I wanted to also go through the ICR and then finish by telling you exactly what you need to do to make an A in this class. I have the goal of having a class with everybody making A's. It hasn't happened yet, but I'm confident that it can happen. So we will talk about that as we go through. So a little bit about me. I am an attorney, and I am licensed to practice law in Texas and then 4 other states. I have been practicing for 20 years, and I work for a private law firm in Dallas, and my job is to defend companies when they are sued for products that fail and maybe somebody gets injured. So that's the kind of stuff I do, corporate stuff. So if you have questions about a car wreck you were in, or a divorce that you're going through, or something like that, I am the worst person for you to ask. So, but I do have resources. So if you get desperate, I do know places that I can say, hey, you should talk to this person, check out this resource, something like that. So I am married to an engineer, and we have 2 kids who are both in high school. So we do a lot of high school stuff. We do high school band and high school theater and just high school. So it's interesting and it's challenging and it's a lot of fun. I do have a lot of animals. So I have a bunny and a couple of dogs and some cats, and then various animals in and out sometimes that aren't mine, but come and we feed and things like that. So big animal lover, big animal lover. And I spend my free time doing things. I like to read. I like to walk my dog. We're a pretty artistic family, so there's always some sort of painting or needleworking or knitting or crocheting or something like that going on in the background. But I just do normal things. I'm just a kind of a normal, boring kind of person. So we do like to travel as a family, and so sometimes we go places that are exciting, sometimes we go places like Amarillo. And so we did have a trip. Our big trip of a lifetime to Italy was during the pandemic. So obviously that didn't happen. So one day we're going to get back there. I'm a big fan of pasta. I am a big fan of, Italian culture and art. So that's just a tiny bit about me. I did get a degree in political science from Texas A&M. And then I went on to law school after that, Texas Tech Law School. So I was raised by a single mom. And so all of you single parents out there who are doing your best to figure out how to make it all work together and make sure that everybody is taken care of and that you're taken care of, and trying to do school on top of that, I completely understand and completely sympathetic to that. I also did work my whole college career, put myself through college and through law school. And so I understand that too. I understand how it's hard to have two jobs, or a job and school going on at the same time. So while I'm sympathetic to all of that, I also want you to get what you paid for, and I want you to get a good college course, and I want you to have this experience, and I want you to have the accountability that goes with taking a college course. You're here because you've made this commitment, and so I am going to do everything I can to help you live up to this commitment, but I am going to need you to meet me halfway. So let's talk a little bit about the ICR and go through that, so you will know exactly the best way to go about this course. So I'm going to share my screen so that you can see it. Okay, so here's the ICR that is posted on Blackboard. It tells you the best way to reach me, which is email. This phone number is not really applicable because it is a phone number at an office where we don't go anymore because of the pandemic. So, so if you're taking this class online, the best way to get me is through my TCCD email address. And so it's jennifer.green171. You need to, I don't know what the 171 stands for. You need to email me from my TCCD email address to my TCCD email address. If you email my faculty email, it will potentially get lost, potentially get flagged as spam. So it's not the most reliable way to get in touch with me. The most reliable way is through email. So if you don't hear from me though, I do respond to my emails. So I have had an instance where a student said that they were not able to get a hold of me. So if you don't hear me respond, then yeah, email me at my faculty email, or we'll figure out a way to, I will try to reach out to you if I don't hear from you, and we can figure out a way to get on the same page, okay? These drop dates, the April drop date, the refund dates, things like that, those are dates that you need to keep up with. I'm not going to remind you when you need to drop the class. I'm not going to drop you for attendance. I'm not going to drop you for any reason. You are an adult. You are here to take a course at a college. And so if you feel like this is not the right semester for you, that you're not making the grade that you want, that you are not able to keep up with the coursework, then that's your responsibility and you need to drop the class. Okay, so I have put a couple of times for office hours down there, but this is really arbitrary. You can email me if you would like to do a video chat, some sort of a Zoom or Teams or something like that, and I will work around my schedule, work around your schedule, and get that done. These are times when I'm generally available, but I'm also generally available a lot of time, most of the day Saturday, most of the day Sunday. A lot of times during the day, I can carve out some time for us to talk. So the best way to reach me is just email me. And then if you need to, we can hop on a video conference if that's the easiest way to talk and to talk through an issue. Okay, page 2. There is a link to district course requirements and books if you would like to follow those. If you have an SAR, if you need some extra accommodation in this class for any reason, I need you to tell me that. That's something I won't find out on my own. I won't be advised of that by the college. You need to tell me that and let me know, hey, by the way, I have this issue. I need this accommodation. And so that we'll work that out. But if you don't tell me, I won't know. And so I won't be able to help you out with that. So again, if you have an SAR, you need to send it, or not send it to me, but just let me know what I can do to help you be able to get the accommodations and the accessibility that you need. We're not on campus, so if you're sitting at home and you want to hold your gun in your hand while you're watching lectures, I can't stop you. So, but if we are ever an in-person class or an in-person class with me, I would ask you do not bring your concealed or unconcealed weapons to class. There are course evaluations that are given out every semester. I don't see those. I definitely would not see anything with a student's name. So I would encourage you to do that for all of your courses. It really helps the college to know what is going on and how different professors are performing, and good things and bad things about courses. And so I would really encourage you to take those, especially in this class, but in all classes. Now, I'm not going to remind you again because that's something that I don't keep up with. I will remind you if I think about it, but I would like you to take those, to do that evaluation. There will not be any kind of discrimination or harassment for any reason. And so I wanted to let you know that if I do see that kind of harassment, I am obligated to report that to the college. Now, you might think, well, how am I going to harass somebody because we're never going to be in the same classroom together? Shockingly, people can get harassed online. And so when we do things like discussion boards, where you are interacting with another student, those discussion boards must be kept very responsible, very respectful. You do not bully somebody or say something mean to somebody else about something that they have posted. So you can disagree. Our society is built on disagreement. You have to be able to air your thoughts, and but you have to do it in a respectful way. Pregnant and parenting students, first of all, congratulations. Second of all, I understand what it's like to try to be working and pregnant, or studying and pregnant. And I understand what it's like to be working and studying while you're a parent. So, I took one of my bar exams when I was pregnant and had a toddler. So I understand it can be rough. I also had a full-time job. I guess I should throw that on there too. So it can be rough, but at the same time, I realize that you have made a commitment, you've paid your money to sign up for this class, and I want you to get the full experience from this class. So I understand that, kids get sick and kids have issues, and if you're a single parent, I know there's a whole lot of issues that come with that. At the same time, I know that you can do this. So this is going to be self-paced enough that that you're going to be able to complete this without any problem. Our book is Texas Politics Today. I've used that book for a number of years. It's a great book. It's a good read. It's interesting read. And we also are a TCC Plus class. And so if you signed up for the TCC Plus, the cost of the textbook is rolled into the cost of the class. Now, if you're going to opt out of that, that's fine. I am not in charge of the money aspect of TCC. So if you need refunds or something like that from the book, or if you need, if you have questions about how the TCC Plus works, I'm going to need you to get in contact with the people at TCC for the TCC Plus, because that is something that is, outside of the professor's purview. So, but I just wanted to let you know that there is the textbook option with the class. Okay. You don't need anything special for this class except for access to the internet and Blackboard. So you need to be able to know how to email. You need to know how to navigate Blackboard. If you don't, there are some great resources out there that can walk you through it step by step. The college has done an amazing job putting together those resources. So if you have any questions, go to the TCC website and you'll be able to get all of the answers you need about that. This class, again, like I said, is going to be Texas government. So it focuses on how early Texas government and how we got to where we are today with our Texas Constitution and our Texas form of government, why we do things the way that we do, and how we do things that are a little bit different than other states. And we're going to talk about the election process in Texas. We're going to talk about kind of federalism and how that works in Texas and how that affects what we do in Texas, and then the political culture of Texas. So we're going to go through the 3 branches of the Texas government and talk about those and kind of how they look in Texas and what they do. So your grade is a sum of your highest grades in these categories. So what that means is we're going to have the course is going to be divided into 4 units: Unit 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, the Unit 1 exam covers the information in Unit 1, 2, 3, and then the final exam covers what's in the last unit of the class, the 4th unit. So the final exam is not comprehensive. It only covers what's in the 4th unit of the class. We are going to have a makeup exam. And so if you take all 4 of the exams and you also take the makeup exam, then I will pick the 4 highest grades, and that is what's going to count towards your final grade. Say you have great grades on all of your exams and you have a great grade on the final, you're not going to take the makeup exam. The makeup exam is given between the 3rd unit and the 4th unit, so it's before you take the final exam. But say you have 3 great grades on your first 3 exams, then I'm going to put a 0 in for your makeup exam if you don't take it. Because if I don't, then the way the Blackboard grading program works, it would drop one of your good grades, and we don't want that to happen. So don't freak out if you don't take the makeup exam and I put a 0 in, that you're being thought of as a 0 student or something like that. Just the way it has to work for grading to work correctly. There are going to be quizzes, more than 10 quizzes. They're going to be taken on Google Forms. And so in order to take them on Google Forms, you need to be signed into your MyTCCD email address, because otherwise it's going to say you're not allowed to take the exam or access the form, take the quiz. So you will have more than 10 quizzes. So again, I will drop the lowest and only count the highest 10 grades. You will have 2 critical thinking assignments. There will not be a drop for a critical thinking assignment. Critical thinking assignments will be presented in PowerPoint, and you'll need to, or Google Slides or something akin to that. You will need to be creative. You'll need to have spell checked it. You'll need to have grammar checked it. You'll need to have not plagiarized during that. I will give you a rubric for each of them, so it'll tell you you'll get X number of points for each of these categories. And I'm going to need you to make sure you have all the categories on there before you turn it in. These won't take a significant amount of time. It will take a little bit of research and review of material though. And then finally, we are going to have discussion boards, and you're going to need to respond to a discussion board prompt, and you're going to need to look at somebody else's discussion board comment and reply to that. You don't have to do 5 pages or anything like that. If you reply with just maybe 3 sentences of a response to something that they have said, it can be another point of view on this issue would be XYZ, or that's a good point. I've also thought about it like this, and explain your thinking. The only thing you have to do is you have to be respectful. Absolutely have to be respectful. Now with that, discussion boards are going to be things like, what are some arguments for or against the death penalty? You don't have to tell me what you believe about the death penalty if you don't feel comfortable with that. You just have to say, people who agree with the death penalty believe that, this reason, that reason, that reason. Explain why some people think that the death penalty is okay and some people think that it's terrible. And then when you're responding to someone else, remember, they're not necessarily saying what they believe. They're just giving a statement of what some arguments are for or against. So don't say you're a terrible person because of what you believe. I think this is terrible that you said this. Just respond, those are good points. Another alternate point is this or that. So must be respectful. Now, at the end of the day, once we get our zeros and our drops and everything in there, you will end up with a number of points, and we will apply that to this ABCDF scale. So you will have the way the class will be broken up, and I will actually talk about that here. The way the class is going to be broken up is in units. So there's going to be about 3 weeks in each unit. So 2 or 3 weeks that the material will be open. Some units are going to be a little bit bigger than others, and some are going to be a little bit smaller. So you're going to, if you have a big hefty unit, just think the next one's going to be smaller. If you have a smaller unit, think maybe the next one's going to be a little bit bigger. So what I will do is post a unit 1 and the due date folder on Blackboard, and you will go to that and open it up, and you will see lectures or PowerPoints, and those will be PowerPoint presentations that are narrated by me, and you must listen to the narration. Sometimes in the narration I'll say, oh, for extra credit, email me this piece of information, or for your third quiz, I want you to send me an email that contains this information. And so you need to listen to that, because otherwise you're going to figure out, well, wait a second, I don't even see what quiz number 3 is, something like that. In that folder will be the lectures, which will be PowerPoints that are narrated. There will be the quizzes, links to the quizzes. There'll be links to the discussion board, and there will be an exam. The exam will be multiple choice given through Blackboard. You'll be given a certain amount of time to complete the exam, but I promise you it is ample time to complete the exam. You'll only get one shot though. So it's not take the exam over and over and over until you actually get the grade that you want. Same with the quizzes, one shot. If I see that you have multiple submissions for the quizzes, I'm going to take the very first complete quiz that you submitted, and I'm going to grade that one, and I'm going to throw away the rest. Sometimes you'll accidentally hit submit twice. Don't think I'm going to, scream at you or anything like that, because that happens. But I'm not going to grade, say you take the quiz and you got a 6 on it. You think, man, I really wanted a 10. So then you take it again and you get a 7. And you think, oh, I think I can still do better. And then you take it again. No, we're going to grade the very first full attempt. Now, again, you're in the middle of taking the quiz. Your kid trips over your internet cord, your computer dies, something happens. And so it's submitted, or it somehow is sent to me with only 2 or 3 questions answered. And then you go back and you take the full exam. You'll take the full quiz. I'm going to count the first full submission. Okay, so I'm not going to crucify you for something, submitting a little bit early or something like that. I understand technology sometimes does crazy things. So I'm not a monster. I am going to work with you, but at the same time, we're not going to have 100 shots at this until we get the grade that we want. So also in that folder will be a folder of notes. So what you should do is open that. It's going to be a PDF file. You open that file and you write in, you print it off, or you do it on your computer, and you write in the answers as you're listening to the lecture. It's guided notes, and so it's the things that I think are the most important in that segment of material. So what that means is when I am writing an exam, that is the stuff I think is the most important. So that's the stuff that's going to be on the exam. there are a lot of tiny details in the book, and sometimes I'll talk about them in the lectures, but the things that are on the notes are the things that are the concepts I really want you to understand. And so with that, I will also give you a file that has the answers to those notes. So could you just print off the notes with the answers already in it and take the exam while those are sitting right next to you? Sure. That is not considered cheating because it is considered using the resources that I have given you. But it is cheating yourself because you're not actually going to learn that material, or you're not actually going to remember that. And then, you know, weeks down the road, somebody's going to say something like, well, yeah, but I mean, we always have had a Democratic governor in Texas. And you're going to say, yeah, I guess, I don't know, I don't remember that. Where if you had written out your own answer to the notes, you would have been able to see that that's not exactly the way things work in Texas. And so you're not going to have gotten your money's worth from this class if you just take the shortcut. But that said, can you have your notes available while you are taking the exam? Yeah, I mean, that's using the resources that you have. In a normal year, in a normal class, we wouldn't do that. But you are at home by yourself taking this exam. So are your classmates. Nobody's monitoring you. We're not going to be able to say that you can't use your notes because you know that your classmates would be using their notes. And so then, you know, it wouldn't be a level playing field. So that is what I think about the information and the notes, and also the information that's going to be in each unit. So you're going to have all of those different folders. So Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3, Unit 4 on Blackboard, and they're going to be open for a specific amount of time, and then they're going to close, because we have some people that would do all of the units the first week of class and then forget they even had this class for the rest of the semester. But then we would have a lot of students that didn't do any of the work until the very last week, and it would be a burden on them and a burden on me. And it's not teaching you anything about how to responsibly sit through and take and succeed in a college class. So we're going to have the classes, the exams open and the units open for a specific amount of time, and then they're going to close. And at the end of the unit, if there's assignments that you didn't do, you'll get a 0. Because again, if I don't give you a 0, then it's not going to drop the correct grades at the end of the semester. I did want to touch on one thing that's up here, extra credit. There's going to be opportunities for extra credit. I usually give you a few opportunities. That way, if you're not able to attend one of the online lectures or watch one of the videos or something like that, you have other opportunities, and they'll usually be 5 points apiece. And so you can have 10 possible points. You're not going to, so if you attend just one of the extra credit lectures, for example, and you get a 5, it's not that you got 50%, it's that you just got 5 extra points added on to the end of your grade. And these will be things that aren't synchronous, so it's not something that you have to sit down and attend. Usually it's things that are sponsored by TCC, a lecture or a panel discussion or something like that. And usually I will say, hey, here's this opportunity. Also, email me and let me know that you attended, and let me know what you thought about it, or let me know your favorite part of the lecture, or what was something that was interesting that you learned from it. So that's going to be how you complete the extra credit. Okay, let's get back down to, these are just the topics that'll be covered in each of the different units. And so you'll kind of see how we work through Texas government. Our critical thinking, I will give you a rubric, and so you'll know exactly what you need to do as we're going through the critical thinking. Now, additional class information, again, communicate with me through the MyTCC email account. If you don't get a response within a couple of days, then we need to, figure out a way to reach out, and we can, get on the same page. I will check my junk box, things like that. Because I don't want you to go the whole semester and just say, I didn't know what was going on. Email me, let me know what's happening. Don't plagiarize, period. You know what plagiarism is. Plagiarism is just a copy paste of somebody else's work, of somebody else's article into your presentation. Don't do it. Don't cheat. I'm not going to drop you for any lack of attendance or lack of participation. If you don't attend a single time, that's kind of your prerogative, and that's your choice that you've made. And if you don't interact at all during the class, you don't complete any of the work, that's, it's a choice that you made. You signed up for this class, and you need to show up and do the work. We aren't going to have any synchronous things. If we have any kind of a lecture or any kind of a video, a Teams meeting or a Zoom meeting or something like that, it will be optional, because we don't have a time assigned for this class. And so I don't want you to feel like, oh, well, now I have to juggle my whole life because every Friday at 3 o'clock I have to show up at this certain thing. I'm going to try to find a time that works for most people if we have any of those meetings, and we will work around your schedule. I'll have a makeup if we need to have that. If you have any kind of religious holidays that are not the same that are observed by TCC, let me know if that's going to affect your schoolwork. However, now when things are going to be due. So if you know that, middle of Unit 2, I'm going to have a religious holiday, then maybe you plan your schedule so that you do the work up front, or make sure you save time at the end to accommodate your time off and your observance of that holiday. TCC does have holidays. We do a spring break. We do have other holidays in this semester, and so you're going to need to realize that during those times that the offices aren't going to be open. I'm not going to be responding to email as quickly as I would. Okay, so there's a chance I won't check my email at all during that time. Let's see. Again, don't harass anybody. I'm going to report it if you do harass somebody. If you would like to be called something else, I'm going to ask you that, and I will send you a form that's going to ask you all kinds of questions, and so that's going to be one of them. And so I will try my best to remember that and respond to you that way. One more thing, if you are a high school student, I'm not necessarily going to find out about that until much, much later in the semester. So if you are a high school student, it would behoove you to tell me that sooner rather than later, because that way, if you need extra help, if I need to follow up with your counselor, if I don't see you participating for, a month of class or something like that, I will get involved a little bit more, just because I know that there's a difference in your age, your experience, your maturity, things like that. So what do you need to do to succeed in this class? Well, I think I just gave you an outline of what you need to do. You need to do the assignments by the due date, and you need to show up and participate. Show up to class, not at a specific time or date, but just interact with the class. You need to open the lectures. You need to listen to them. You need to try to figure out what the answers are to questions. You need to listen to, read what I've given you in announcements, things like that. I will give you lots of announcements. And so, you need to read those. And I will send lots of emails. You need to read those. And I need you to try. I need you to meet me halfway. I want you to succeed in this class. I want you to succeed in this class so much. But I do want you to have a good college experience. And I do expect you are a college student. And so you need to meet me halfway, and you need to show up to this this experience and do what is your part of the job. Over the years that I've taught at TCC, I've heard every single terrible tale of woe. I mean, spouses sick, children sick, siblings dying. I mean, there's animals with infirmities, and parents, and immigration problems, and family law problems, and all kinds of issues. I understand there's a lot that goes on in life. There's a lot that goes on in all of our lives. And maybe this is not the semester for you, and you determine that sometime down the road and think, this is really not a good time in my life for me to be doing a class, and you need to drop the class. But I have faith in you that you can actually work around issues. You can work around life. You can realize that nobody's got just a complete clean slate of things that they have to do. All they have to do is sit down and do Texas government. And so I need you to work with your schedule. I need you to be organized. I need you to work with your priorities, and I will meet you halfway. I'm really excited about this class, and I hope that we get to know each other. And if you have any questions, again, email me. Thank you.